Hello friends, if you're new, welcome to my channel. Why don't you go down and tap the subscribe button and ring the bell so you know when I come out with new content. For my fans and subscribers, welcome back. Thank you for the patronage. Today's topic, C.T. Russell, beginning of a movement. Let's go. When Russell was 16, he began questioning several of his long-held doctrines, including hell. In 1869, Russell stumbled onto a service held by Advent preacher Jonas Wendell. Almost immediately afterward, he started a Bible study with a few friends. This Bible study eventually evolved into a separate movement. A lot of attention has been paid to Russell's ideas compared to where he got his ideas from. Part of this problem seems to stem from his followers regarding him as the faithful and wise servant of Matthew 24:45-47. Russell himself, however, did acknowledge his predecessors. Two men had an enormous impact, but George Storrs was the most important. He was born in New Hampshire in 1796 and was raised in a strict Calvinist environment. He became the most prominent American proponent of conditionalism. Conditionalism, also known as annihilationism, is the idea that man does not have an immortal soul, but eternal life is dependent or conditional on receiving the gift through Christ. This teaches that the dead are asleep or unconscious until the resurrection. Storrs became involved in the Millerite movement in 1842. Miller convinced himself and others that quote-unquote biblical chronology pointed to Christ's second coming taking place somewhere between March 1843 and March of 1844. He became a preacher of Millerite eschatology, and when Christ did not return, the Millerites recalculated Christ's return for October of 1844. When this failed to happen, Storrs abandoned the Millerite movement. Although prominent Millerite preachers rejected conditionalism, offshoots did accept it. Until 1871, he believed the destiny of men was fixed at their death, regardless of the ignorance in which they had been placed in life. In 1871, however, he started teaching that those who died without the knowledge of Christ would be given the chance to learn of him after an earthly resurrection. If these resurrected ones proved faithful, they would receive eternal life on a paradise earth. I don't know what happens if they don't prove to be faithful. Maybe another Armageddon? At about that time, Russell became aware of Storrs, and Storrs obviously contributed to Russell's theology. In particular, he borrowed conditionalism, the practice of observing the memorial once a year, the ransom atonement, and the restitution of man to paradise earth from Storrs. Memorial is Jehovah's Witness speak for the sacrament or the communion. Yet, Russell didn't borrow all of his doctrines. From 1869 to 1875, he did develop some of his own. He based his theology on scriptures, several Bible commentaries, and many ideas that were common to the 19th century American Protestantism. From Joseph Seiss, he borrowed the idea that Jesus had not been resurrected in the flesh, but only in the spirit. He also borrowed the idea that parousia meant presence, and before Armageddon, Christ would be invisibly present on earth. In January of 1876, Russell met Nelson Barbour, publisher of Herald of the Morning and an independent Adventist preacher. Like Jonas Wendell, he believed that 1873 marked 6,000 years from Adam's creation. Barbour originally believed that Jesus would visibly return in 1873, but he came to believe that Christ's invisible presence began in 1874. This is called moving the goalpost, people, and you will find that not only Jehovah's Witnesses, but a lot of religious people do this. A lot. Russell paid Barbour's expenses to meet him in Philadelphia and prove that the prophecies indicated 1874 as the year Jesus' invisible presence and harvest of the earth began. Evidently, Russell was satisfied. I don't know about you, but it sounds like sunken ship fallacy. After that, Russell financially supported Herald of the Morning, as well as giving Barbour the money to publish a book laying out their beliefs about the end of the world. They also began to travel and preach. Barbour explained his chronology in The Worlds and the Harvest of This World in 1877. This work bore both men's names, but Barbour alone wrote it. In it, he included his own ideas, plus those drawn from other sources, as well as continuing to use the year for a day substitution to interpret prophecy. This book outlined the plan of redemption as Barbour saw it. The three worlds in the title refer to three major periods that were subdivided into dispensations. He also felt that Bishop Ussher had been off in his calculations of the age of man being 124 years too short. Using his own method, he calculated that 6,000 years of man's existence would end in 1873, 6 days in God's time, and that the seventh day would be a Sabbath of restitution. The most important interpretation in this book that JWs still adhere to is the Gentile Times of Luke 21:24. However, this doctrine of the Gentile Times did not originate with Barbour. As it turns out, he borrowed it from John A. Brown, who explained it in 1823. Brown posited that Judah fell to Gentile kings in 604 BCE, which was an obvious error. 4 empires, Babylonian, Medo-Persian, Macedonian, and Roman, would then rule, after which Jesus, as David's heir, would reign in Jerusalem. How long would this take? Brown thought that he had discovered the answer in Daniel chapter 4. This chapter records a dream that Nebuchadnezzar supposedly had, in which God commanded a tree to be cut down. 7 times were to pass before it grew again. According to Daniel, it applied to Nebuchadnezzar, who would be mad for 7 times before restored to the throne. Brown reasoned that the 7 times were 7 years of 360 prophetic days each. I have no idea how he came up with 360 days. I even checked the Jewish calendar because I know that that calendar is a bit different from ours. But even back then, the Jewish calendar had 365 days in a year. Using the year-day principle, Brown multiplied 360 days by 7 years to get a period of 2,520 years. Counting 2,520 years from 604 BCE, he arrived at 1917. Barbour decided that Brown's beginning of the 7 times was 2 years too late. He held that the Gentile Times started in 607 BCE, the date that he believed to be the destruction of Jerusalem. He believed Christ's kingdom would come in the autumn of 1914, and God would restore the Jews to his favor. And if you can follow all that nonsense, you're doing a hell of a lot better than I am. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, press the subscribe button, and if you want to know when I come out with new content, hit the bell next to the subscribe button. My Twitter, Discord, email, and PayPal links are in the description along with my source. Keep learning and searching for truth. Here are a few videos from my library. If you have not watched them yet, go ahead and watch them and tell me what you think. Please leave comments in the comment section as they trigger the YouTube algorithm. Until next time, friends, stay safe and goodbye.